Hello from the Hyperledger Global Forum Dublin. I'm delighted to be joined by Anusha Iyer, founder of Coursera. Good morning, Anusha.
Good morning.
How are you enjoying Dublin?
Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's turning into one of my favorite cities.
Oh, fantastic. It's great. So, Anusha, thank you for spending some time today. Could you maybe introduce yourself and what Coursera is all about, please?
Absolutely. So, Anusha Iyer, I am the co-founder and CTO of Coursera. It's a cybersecurity company in the Washington, D.C. area. And we are focused on primarily API security. So I'm sure you're probably familiar in the cybersecurity realm with multi-factor authentication. So that's, your Google Authenticator or your Duo, your RSA token, that extra factor that gives a little bit more assurance when someone logs into their bank account or social media or whatever it may be. What we've come up with at Coursera, using Hyperledger Fabric, in fact, is a way to do that same concept of multi-factor authentication and one-time use credentials, but for machine-to-machine communication.
Right.
So areas where there isn't necessarily a human identity or a human that can be involved in the mix, we can do fully automated MFA and one-time use authentication codes.
Oh, fantastic. I'd like to explore a little more details. You mentioned Hyperledger Fabric there. So what's your favorite tools within Hyperledger Fabric?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I will say for us, we've been working with Fabric since 2018 or so, and really have turned it into a core part of our platform that we use to manage machine identities. And what's been really interesting to us is that it is such a flexible platform that you can use it for so many different purposes and in so many different settings. So we've really capitalized on the fact that it is very cloud native, Kubernetes friendly, and now are able to almost seamlessly deploy it across cloud platforms, which has been a really important requirement for us, not being fixed to one environment per se. So some of those properties of Fabric have been really interesting. One of the reasons I'm actually here with my team is to learn more about the ecosystem. We've been so focused on just core Fabric, and I realize it's such a big landscape with so many new tools emerging every day, especially in Hyperledger Labs and so forth. So it's been a great experience at the forum.
Thank you. And just to explore a little bit more detail of why that flexibility of deployment and why that extensive use was so important to your business.
Absolutely. So, being based out of the Washington, D.C. area, a lot of our first customers have actually been with the U.S. government, both with the Department of Defense, intelligence communities, sensitive customers basically, and they have oftentimes very unique requirements around where and what they will deploy. And so we've been able to take Fabric and deploy it not just in a more traditional setting to, say, an AWS or a Google Cloud or an Azure, but also even take it a step further and even deploy it in fully air-gapped settings for more sensitive customers. So that flexibility of the deployment posture has been just a key requirement for us as a business.
And if you just sum up how it works and what the benefits are for Hyperledger Fabric for a business like yours, so maybe some of our audience, some key topics, and what would that be?
Absolutely. Yeah, so, I think from our vantage point at Coursera, it's been a really great balance of providing kind of the decentralization and distribution of a ledger, but still being able to maintain the permissioned aspect, the privacy, the control over the ledger. So it's just this nice balance between blockchain, but still control.
Well, anyone says government agencies and security in the same question, that's going to be under some scrutiny, isn't it? Yeah. So here we are at the Hyperledger Foundation Global Forum in Dublin. We're all together as a community. I'd love for you to share what values and advantages you have of being the Hyperledger community to our audience, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We are, I suppose, one of the newest members to the community. We've joined just a few months ago, and we're so excited about joining just to be able to share the experiences that we've had with Fabric and learn from so many in the ecosystem. And hopefully not only contribute back to the community with some of the work that we've done, but also make use of just all the vast experiences. This whole week, we've been hearing about all these production use cases of Fabric and how it's really turned, even from the previous forum to this one, about a different, more mature set of stories.
Wow. And is there a particular project or thing that caught your eye you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so certainly Bizu has caught our eye in terms of there seems to be a lot of discussion around it. We're also interested potentially in the interoperability of Fabric with other blockchain platforms and so forth. So those are all elements that we're tracking. And then anything to do with identity is something that's really of interest to us. So we're trying to get involved more with how identity is managed on the ledger itself. So, efforts around the Fabric CA and bringing in entities like Cert Manager and more of how to extend into the ecosystem that's also available with the Linux Foundation at large.
Amazing. Anusha, thank you so much. Congratulations on Corsia, congratulations on your projects, and thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.